Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bookbot Theory. I'm your host Namrata, and today we have a truly special guest, someone who lives and breathes books, words, and the art of storytelling. Joining us today is Binati Sheth, a book writer and editor who works as a ghostwriter, editor, and a writing guide for aspiring authors. She's passionate about languages and the magic of words, helping writers bring their stories to life with clarity and impact. When she's not working behind the scenes on books, she's writing thought provoking essays on the complex simplicity of human experiences and blogging about the fascinating things she is learning. In this episode, we are going to dive into the world of editing, the hidden art of ghostwriting, what it really takes to be an author, and the challenges of publishing and marketing books, especially in India. We will also bust some common myths about writing and publishing, and of course, have some fun along the way. So grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea, get comfy, and let's jump into this fascinating conversation with Binati. Welcome to the Bookbot Theory. I'm so excited to have you here today with us.
I am excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So, the first question I have for you is, as an editor, what's the most common mistake you see aspiring authors make, and any fun horror stories? Without naming names, of course.
It's fine. The most common mistake people make is they are convinced that their draft is their manuscript. Now, draft and manuscripts are two very different words. Draft is blah, 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 blah. Manuscript is this is a dog, this is a cat. The dog and cat play together. Sometimes they mess with each other. It's a lot of words put together to tell a story, the draft. The story has a theme, meta text, some value interlaced within it, some truth explored and maybe debunked within it. So drafts become manuscripts. You cannot take a draft and call it a manuscript. Why I think it is the biggest mistake is people send their drafts for pitching purposes and then they cry that nobody said yes. And it's like, yeah, because it was stream of consciousness. They get like thousands of emails every week. If your thing is not polished enough, they will not read it because it's just a numbers game. And so, as long as you convince yourselves that you have done the best possible work and you don't take into account that feedback and presentation, both of these things matter. Your book is not going to have any sort of forward momentum. अगर आगे नहीं जाएगा तो publish कैसे होगा? So, biggest mistake. And horror story is still ongoing. my I am editing my friend's husband's book. He's a fantastic writer, but he has the I will write the perfect book problem. He has written then rewritten his book twice.
Wow.
And it is getting, I'm not going to say it is bad or worse, it's all good. But somehow he is not able to let me export the final document. Now, there are two approaches here. You can get angry and abandon your author, or you can rely on patience. I choose the latter because देखो easy books पे तो काम हम हर जगह करते हैं. There's nothing to learn, nothing to gain from working on easy books. The harder books, the antsy writers, that's where the fun is at. तो life में तड़का लगता है. So that is my horror story. I hope that he has had an entire baby that has come into the world and turned one, but we haven't finished his book because every time we decide कि हो गया, 2 weeks or 3 weeks later he's like Binati मैं फिर से लिख रहा हूँ. And he does write it. It's not like he's just bluffing. He does write it. And it's all good. He's an excellent writer. I just wish he gets over the perfection block, which is what it is. He wants it to be perfect, and that is creating all of this procrastination. So, yeah.
I also get this and I agree with this. I remember an author who we did like 4 rounds, and then she's like, I still feel this can be better. I said, see, even once it is published, no, that's there in the mind. Every writer is unhappy. You ask Amitabh Ghosh, even he will say, that's the reason I don't read my own books once they are published. Because you're bound to find faults. You grow, you evolve as a human, you evolve as a writer. You will keep finding things. I said, so just let it go now. Just let it go. Just push that out. Start working on
Yeah,
something else. That's also
I
equally
think
important.
pressing publish for the first time is hard. The moment you do it, you are like, eh, bus.
That's all it took.
You realize you've been building it up, right? It is as simple as pressing send while you are doing an email, and you have had so much anxiety about it over
Yeah.
the years. It feels very anticlimactic. I've heard this from almost every one of my authors. कि हो गया? I'm like, huh?
So, Binati, this is a problem that even I face. So, I want to know how you deal with it. Writers often fall in love with their words, like we just
Hmm.
discussed. So, how do you tell them this needs to go without breaking their hearts?
I don't tell them this needs to go because I feel like, and we have been on the receiving end of feedback like this, it hurts. You have worked very hard to write whatever it is, and chances are that thing is rooted in something that is going on in the author's life. You never know, right? Because we don't have context to them as people, we have
True.
context to them as authors. So I never say that nikal do. I just like try to I use all the non-fiction psychology books ka gyan that I've collected over the years. I just present a case, right? Oftentimes, what I have seen is if you explain yourself well, people make the connection on their own. Ki this is not working. And so that is one thing I do. I try to explain that the line written the way it is affecting the narrative like this. Or it does not work for the character, does not make the plot do what we want it to, in world building mein garbad ho rahi hai, whatever it is. Or what I do is I will do, and I know editors generally don't do this, but yeah, I to like writing. So I will do a little rewrite. Same thing, but in the way that I wanted to, and I'll just put it there as a comment. Ki dekho, this is what you've written. This is what I have written. And now let's figure out a middle ground. So proper collaboration. And so far it has worked. I've never had problems with it because see, authors also come to us because they want to improve their books, make it as good as we could. And they know that if they keep putting up fights, first of all, their invoice is getting fatter. So they'll have to pay us more. And secondly, um, it is delaying the inevitable, right? They also know.
True.
So my approach is writing तो वैसे भी form of communication है. So why not make editing about that as well? Communicate with your authors, and instead of making it rude, make it as comprehensive and as I think understandable as you possibly can make it.
I agree with this because I have seen that when even if I don't rewrite, if I just share how I interpret it as a reader and I ask, was this the intention that you had? Was this the message that you wanted to convey? Or sometimes even that simple question works that, this is how I analyze this. Is this
Mhm.
what you wanted? That's it. That makes them think enough and the problem gets solved there. So I agree, yes, communication is very important. So, coming to the most important topic of the day, of the year,
Hmm.
actually, which is happening in the last few months in all our lives. So, do you think AI will ever replace editors? Or will human touch always be necessary in storytelling?
That is a complicated question to answer at this point in time, right? Because there are two facets to this answer, three actually. One is the creativity angle. Now, I think in that regard, AI can become an accessibility tool, right? Just say I cannot do proper. Let's say you want me to describe as a पेड़ ले लहा रहा है. I can't do it.
Mm.
I am more of a direct shooter.
Yeah.
So I can ask the Sora or any of these drawing based AI, to I can feed my description in there and ask it to draw, right? Key, interpret this into a drawing. If it is interpreting my scene, yeah, my description works because the AI was able to draw something out of it, right? So it enables me to kind of check my descriptions, which is a weakness I personally have as a writer. So that is like one way where it could assist creativity, right? Not take it over,
Yeah.
assist it. And the second facet of this is the publishing industry. Now they will cost cut. We already know this, that there are AI training modules in place. Every single CEO of all the big five have made statements in favor of AI.
Yeah.
तो देखो line editing और proofreading गया.
Yeah.
Those jobs are done. They are gone by next year, even I'd say, right? So it's the easier bits of editing, right? The bits that you can automate, like grammar rules, then identifying, I suppose, double spaces, repeating words, all of this, I think this can be automated. And you know what? It's better that it gets automated because this is the boring part of editing that we do in the end, after the full thing is done. Yes, some people will lose their jobs, but it is better than losing developmental editors, in my opinion. So the industry is definitely going to cut costs, and it's going to happen because the CEOs are in favor of it. So rest all will fall in line. So I don't think developmental editors, structural editors are going to go away, but formatters, proofreaders, line editors, I think those jobs probably are at risk. The third facet is the copyright angle because we know the courtesy of the documents that have become public, courtesy of that Sarah Silverman lawsuit against Meta. Meta has seeded books from Library Genesis. तो अगर आप लामा 3 यूज कर रहे हो to assist your editing or assist your creativity, you are directly using pirated books, and that is in violation of copyright, and it is also low key distribution of pirated content. So there's a legal angle to this. So it's complicated to answer, but like just like how stenographers used to exist but don't exist anymore, I think certain professions are gone. Akutagawa Prize last year went to an author whose book was written, like 5% of it. She admits it. It's there in the book as well. Rie Kodon is the name of the author, and Tokyo to Dojo to is the name of the book. 5% of it is written by ChatGPT. And it's a very creative use of ChatGPT. It's a dystopia type thing where there is a ChatGPT type character, and all the dialogue of that character was written by AI. So if authors are doing stuff like this, fantastic. But if people are doing trope-based slop, which is what is happening on Amazon right now,
Yeah.
terrible, right? So we are in a place where I think the industry and people will have to figure out how they define things, because I've always said this, there's two types of people in the arts: people who view art as a product and people who view art as art. प्रोडक्ट वाले लोग हैं वो एआई को बहुत भारी तरीके से एम्ब्रेस करने वाले हैं बिकॉज इट मेक्स स्टफ सो मच चीपर एंड सो मच क्विकर. Look at the speed with which some authors are being forced to write books. Now give them AI. Those poor things are exhausted. I'm pretty sure they will use it. So if you are a product-based author, AI is your best friend. Publishers though are anyway product-based. So again, they love AI. But if you are into the arts, if you want to protect the integrity of the written word, if you want to protect what makes books so important, might as well like ignore it a little bit. Like use it. जैसे मैंने बोला, find uh, there's a 2016 study that used machine learning to study the bestsellers of the time. ठीक है?
Okay.
Two books in particular are highlighted in the study. E.L. James ka 50 Shades of Grey and Dan Brown ka Da Vinci Code. Now they used machine learning, which is the, I suppose, parent of all of these large language models, to figure out what the formula behind these books is. And their study found out it is the up down movement. So they put a lot of other books into the language learning model and they got a similar answer. So you can use AI for pattern recognition. I don't think you should use it to write the book, but you could use it to learn things,
Yeah,
right?
definitely, definitely.
So this is completely in how you define art, what sort of an artist you are, and what sort of an artist you want to become.
True, true. I
बहुत
had
लंबा आंसर
attended a
दिया.
workshop on this, and no, it's a very interesting answer because there's always this ethical debate about it. So I had attended a workshop about how writers can use AI, and I loved one thing is if you look at AI as an advanced model of Google, it would
Mm,
actually solve a lot of issues. Say, for example, you're writing a story which is based in Kashmir, but in the 50s, and you want names
mm,
of specific villages, Google will give you like 500 answers. But you might just have
exactly.
very specific answer कि वहाँ snowfall नहीं होती थी या वहाँ पे एक पेड़ था or there was a river or something, and AI will just come back with the right, one, two, three options for you. It saves a lot of time. It helps your
It
research and it
absolutely.
saves a lot of time. It may So that person told us that instead of trying to fight with it or trying to make it do your job, this is how you use it. It's your assistant, but a more advanced
Perfectly
assistant.
said. Don't make it do your job. Make it your assistant. I love it. This should be our clickbait.
Yeah. And your answer is bang on. A lot of lit agents have posted about this, that copy editing and proofreading, they are already using AI and softwares. So the only jobs they are seeing that can be there is on developmental edits. They'll go developmental edits or structural edits, or person who can help you with the story with a personal experience is what they are now looking at. So
And I think the important aspect of editing is, as you know, the brainstorming that happens, right? Between the writer who has all the context and editor who is in many ways the first reader.
yeah,
You are having big blah blah blahs amongst each other. You can involve a tool for the blah blah blahs, right? If proper privacy is maintained on the end of these companies. And see, not everyone is blessed with the budgets to afford editors. So that is why I've kind of said this from the beginning that it is an accessibility tool, but accessibility, not सारा काम करवा दो.
yeah, exactly. That is where the whole thing secret is. So let's come to ghostwriting. So what's the biggest misconception people have about ghostwriters?
Ghostwriting is ghost thinking. That's what people think. And it's like, no, thinking is still coming from the author. They just they just wanted they felt like they couldn't write. And so and the reasons from what I've seen, reasons are either they have too little time because of their professional commitments, or they feel like they don't have the ability to write because people in corporates they have this way that they speak. And English teachers have traumatized everyone कि इंग्लिश खराब है तुम्हारा मैथ्स अच्छा है तुम इंजीनियर बनोगे एंड दे इंटरनलाइज इट right? So they forget that they have made the most clear, most brilliant PowerPoint presentations over the years to the point where they became thought leaders in their industry. If they did not possess clarity and communication skills, that would not have happened. But they have internalized English teacher feedback कि तुम नहीं लिख सकते बच्चा. तो they come to us, right? So ghostwriting is not ghost thinking. It is just helping someone frame their thoughts for them. Thoughts are theirs, words are ours. We get paid to write. We are glorified essay writers. That's what
I
we are.
love this. We are glorified essay writer.
I mean, it's the truth, isn't it? Because that and nowadays तो अभी लोगों का content भी books में convert किया जा रहा है तो we are glorified content writers भी बोल दो. It's fine.
That's to an extent, yes, I agree. So now, what makes a great author beyond just writing a good book?
I think good, bad, very subjective words.
Yeah.
But in my limited time on this earth, I'm 31 years old as of recording, and I have found that markers of good and bad and how we define success and things of the sort are very flawed. Like rooted in mathematics, rooted in how much something makes us cry and all of that. For me, it is as simple as a book that touches you. That's it. Like writing that makes you feel something. It doesn't have to be a good something or a bad something. It doesn't even have to like do one thing. If it manages to distract you from something going on in your life, if it manages to make you laugh, cry, if it manages to change your mind, if it manages to hug you, so what if in places, if the book weakens against the conventional storytelling structure, their work provided you solace. And I think one of the main reasons why we read is we want to be acknowledged. We want our living experience to be acknowledged in some format. And even if it is like a trashy book, as we call it, if that trashy book feels good to you, like if it helps you feel things, it's a good book, yeah. Life is too short to like be whiny and bitchy about books, which are supposed to be people's dreams packed into pages. So I think respect always is a two-way street. If you as a reader are taking someone's book, किसी ने बुक लिखी है, मेहनत करिए, ठीक है, इवन इफ इट इज सुपरफिशियल मेहनत, बट मेहनत तो है.
Yeah.
There is something in there. I promise you, there is something in the book. Because book writing requires persistence. You have to write daily some words so that it collects and becomes like this. And that thing does not come in a vacuum. There is some value. If you want to be a proactive reader, it is up to you to find that value.
Yeah.
And the promise of that value is always there. So I though have never DNF'd a book, to be honest. No matter how much a book annoys me, I finish it, hoping कि कहीं कुछ निकले, कहीं कुछ निकले, कहीं and निकलता है. Generally निकले like a sentence, a quote, something that makes me randomly cry. I can give an example. Very horrible book. I'm totally not faking it by Amanda Gamble. And I have cried
Wow.
because of this one thing that the author has in the book. Because JPS writes a note to Rach that I have as much faith in you as you have in the world. The world have enough cynics. We want more people like you. And I read that and I was like, somebody he sees through my Delulu ways. Book is bad. But that one line, I'm like, okay, 4 stars. Writing is weak in places, but you made me cry. You made me feel seen.
Yeah.
There
True.
you go.
You remind me of my grandfather when you say this. So my grandfather introduced me to reading, and he used to always tell that there is no bad book. A book will always teach you something. What it will teach you, do's or don'ts, or something that you would not want to follow in life, or you should remember that. That's arguable. But there's nothing called a bad book. Reading a book can never be a waste of time. You might just conclude that, okay, I learned that I should not be smoking from this book, and that's a good thing. You're carrying back something good from that person died
Yes.
from smoking. So you reminded me of him. There's no bad book actually. They're just good books all around.
Yeah. And these days, there's this criticism going around, right? Around romanticy, for instance, that these are bad books and these are books that would lead to the dumbing down of literature and all of this. And I'm like, who cares? There is so much joy. that is coming into people's lives from these books. Yes, these books are harmful from the angle of they are indirectly promoting conservative ideals. But people are happy, man. Look at the world. There's so much sadness around you. And somebody is having like 15, 20 minutes to chill. And this book makes them happy. पढ़ने दो उनको क्या तुम्हारा क्या जा रहा है
At least they're
why,
reading.
why are you why are your panties knotting up because somebody else is having fun. So it's like all books are good books for somebody. Let's call it that. Because every book someone and it is up to the reader to discover the book when they have to.
You know, there's a quote for this. I don't remember the exact phrase, but it says that having read classics or grown up on classics, when you try to look down on this romantasy and what you call that, that erotic or anything for that matter, and you say that this is too frivolous or this is impacting the quality of literature, it actually reeks from a place of privilege because not everybody has access to good libraries, good books, and not everybody had families who were educated enough to encourage them to read from a young age, gain access to classics, understand the language. Now, if you read, look at Shakespeare, understanding Shakespeare in itself was a challenge if you didn't know that level of English or that understanding of English. And that's one of the reasons why, authors like Chetan Bhagat are able to become massy because they are in that Indian English, in that conversational space where you and I speak, which you and I can hear around in public transport, schools, colleges. So technically, you should not be even blaming anyone for reading Chetan Bhagat or enjoying it. They're reading. So
Exactly. I want to read a quote, and this is a video I have shot. Edit करना बाकी है तो पड़ा है बेचारा. Ashley Poston's The Dead Romantics has this in her acknowledgement section or about the author section. I think as readers, we all have a comfort read, the one book that protects us in the exact ways it needs to, whether it is a romance or erotica or a thriller or a crime story or a fantasy, a book that we find ourselves in, like looking in a mirror. Oh, you too? It will ask, as it fills that soft, hollow place in your heart that nothing else dared to touch. I think we all deserve a book like that, whatever yours is. You
super.
are the legacy. You are the life beyond the story. I give you. This is what she's written,
This
right?
is
And I
beautiful.
love it. I'll share the screenshot with you so you can attach it to the video.
Yeah, sure.
It's beautiful.
This is too good. My next question is something that I always enjoy. That's your videos and your takes on marketing, on publishing, and everything. So I want to know which books marketing has caught your attention in the recent times for good or bad reasons. And Indian authors or international, no pressure, whatever you want to state.
Honestly, I don't like how modern marketing is going about marketing to like mm, yeah, I nothing really stands out to me because it follows a pattern, right? It's not creative.
Yeah.
PR briefs जा रही हैं. People are going on podcasts. People are going on each other's Instagram lives, Facebook lives, TikToks. Then they will do the crying wala video where you are opening the box. Then they will do crying wala video where you are smelling the pages. They'll do crying wala video. I get it, but it's like everyone's doing the same thing. There's it's whether it is happening organically or whether somebody has made a video that explains people to do these same things. I don't know, but nothing really stands out to me as creative. What I have noticed is it is becoming very, very apparent what authors are getting the backing from the industry because of how much ad spend they are giving to their books. And that kind of makes me angry a lot. So we'll not go there because then I will rant. This will become 2 hours long. But one thing I really loved yesterday, not yesterday, day before yesterday, was April Fool's for 2025. Fitzgeraldo made two book covers and posted on their account. Now, Fitzgeraldo Editions has a very set pattern: blue cover and white cover. They don't do book covers. They have blank, same color and font decided. Everyone who reads their books know this. And then you see two book covers on. I got like whiplash. Like what? Fitzgeraldo has, and not one. They did two book covers. And I was like, what? This is incredible. Incredible. And then it struck me that it is April Fool's and this is Fitzgeraldo. So I totally went and checked that book out, the book that they made the fake cover for. And this is what I mean when I say, like, there used to, one um, publisher that was famous for this was Pantheon Books.
Yeah.
Pantheon I miss them so much because the type of books they used to publish were incredible. Then they got acquired by Penguin, and the lead editor behind Pantheon passed away from pancreatic cancer. So now it is just like everything else, Penguin. They used to do incredible things for book launches. And by this, their creativity was show don't tell ka example. It was not in your face. It was not trying to act authentically. They were in their creative zone, and it showed in every single one of these campaigns they did. So, yeah, all of this to say, yeah, nothing stands out. It's all the same.
It's
They're
all
all doing the same things. And if we both come out with our books, we will also do the same things. Because unfortunately, and I totally should not do this, but I will, the same type of things are getting attention.
yeah.
I don't know why people are not being open to variety, not being open to the concept of something new coming and, messing with their head. They all want the same thing: pretty people posing in front of cameras, showing you their expensive houses while saying, I heard nothing. Okay, you heard nothing, and now you have published a book. Thank you. I will check it out.
Yeah.
So,
I know we just discussed before we started recording for this about traditional publishing and self-publishing, but I want you to share your thoughts on this and also comment if you were to get published, if you were to write a book, which one would you choose and why?
yeah. I honestly, I did have a traditional publishing deal. I have a science fiction that I wrote. I had a deal. They also offered an advance.
Wow.
But then they wanted me to increase the book, like pad it. And I was like, I have said all that I want to say. There is nothing extra to say. I can make like extra editions and all. I can also do row pinch on jaisa. Ki rocket is shaped like this and it is doing this and it is doing that and it is doing this and is. But that is me disrespecting my readers because I want to appeal to my publishers, right? So I was like, I will return the advance. I need time. And so I reneged in a way on the deal because sometimes I feel the market is not ready for what you have. And traditional publishing is you have to be cognizant of the market, right? Because you're not the only book that is coming out from their doors. They've got many other books. And science fiction as a whole does not have a lot of appreciation in the market. तो you are anyway doing a lose lose. उसमें भी पंगा ले रहे हो तो I don't have to rely on income as an author. So I was like, you know what, we'll wait to improve this because some things can always be improved. And in the meantime, I also started working on another book which is also almost finished, and then I will try to pitch it and see what they say. But the way that I'm seeing the ecosystem shape up these days, I don't think I need to approach a traditional publisher because, first of all, the loss of control is massive. You have to surrender all control. I mean, they are taking the risk to publish your book. So, of course, they deserve to have the control as well. But when they ask for all the control, that's when I'm like, थोड़ा तो पूछ सकते हो हमको. So because of that, I'm like, okay. And second thing is, I think personal brands have become very important, even if you are being traditionally published. So why not get paid also alongside it? I don't have that thing ki I want that tag of being published. And self-published books are getting acquired by traditional publishers once they are proving themselves in the market. So if you self-publish and then you get acquired by a traditional publisher, you are coming from a place of power. Like we both need each other,
Yeah.
not that the author needs the publisher, right? So this is the approach I would take. I would take control of my publishing process. I would get the numbers. And that is important. You have to have the numbers. फिर तुम 5 बुक बेच के ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते I am published author. Like no, that is delulu. That you can give to your neighbors. I have 90 neighbors. I can say I sold 100 copies. 90 neighbors and 10 mummy, papa, nana, nani.
Yeah. I am taking this message to heart that sometimes the market is not ready for what you have. Because I have a book and this is what I had been told. At first, I was very disappointed. And then, but now when you say it, I am trying to look at it in a very different light. So, yes, I am noting this down for myself.
David Sedaris, if you have read the works of David Sedaris or Annie Leibovitz, oh sorry, Fran Lebowitz, uh, they both do cutting edge satire, right? And it is oftentimes, especially Fran Lebowitz ka satire, it is mean, but it is a mean in a way it makes you think. And the book, I'm still deciding whether to like keep it non-fiction or make it fiction. I've roughly called it this is why I'm not married in the drafts. This is what I've called it. Okay. And I've basically critiqued a lot of the gendered aspect of our society using satire, because satire is, in my opinion, the fastest way to invert power over a situation. We cannot invert power in real life. We cannot even joke about it these days. But we can write a satire and feel like powerful, like मैंने कुछ करा, word document बना दिए. But I cannot publish it in today's ecosystem, self or traditional, because people are getting angry over the most absurd things. It's reached a level of and I see this as lack of purpose in a lot of people's life, which is why you are going after random strangers on the internet who are busy living their life, और उनके जीवन में एक ऐसे hater आके ऐसे करके जा रहे हैं, and you're like, what did I do? So this is the ecosystem we find ourselves in. And see, people are going to find internet and all of these social media companies, they're very new, right? It is all very young. All of this is going to mature. We are going to find something else to do. And
Hopefully.
वो जब तक होता है तब तक wait. It is much better to wait than to do the premature publish.
True. I agree.
And then
Like,
deal with headache.
yeah, yeah. Like I was telling in my live that day, there are so many books to read, there are so many movies to watch, there's so much to do. Yeah, how do you just go and just abuse somebody randomly because of something what they've written on social media? How do you find that time? I struggle to do that. I struggle to even send a
I
compliment to somebody I want to sometimes. I'm sure you would also, that, yeah, I like this, but I missed telling you, okay, that I really loved what you have posted. We struggle to find time to even say good things about somebody.
that's I have this as a blog, but I haven't hit publish because again, the same thing. It seems like you are being mohalle ka mausi, and I don't want to be that, even if the mohalla is internet. But
Yeah.
it is very weird behavior that you go, like we are both talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that enjoy the readings of David Sedaris and Fran Lebowitz.
Yeah.
You will never react to that as कितना गंदा लिखते हैं, right? You will only do this even if you think this, you will not do this to my face because you will see that she is describing these two authors and their work with passion. Or and when somebody expands with passion, right? Think like a balloon. You don't go with a pin and explode it. That is mean people behavior. कोई एकदम खुश हो रहा है और
Hmm.
तुम जाके उसकी खुशी नोच रहे हो उससे, nobody does that in real life. We only do that online because in many ways people are not looking at each other as people, right? This is just
Yeah.
an account. But then भाई पर people ही है उसके पीछे. It's very strange social behavior that people do this. If and I have seen people go in other people's comment section and say this is cringe, this is bad, this is भाई उसको मजा आ रहा है ना, उसने वीडियो बनाया, छोड़ दो तुम उसको.
Very true.
Why do this to somebody? It is not nice
Yeah.
or kind. Forget about nice. Nice is whatever. It is not kind.
True. So, Binati, if you could ghostwrite for any celebrity dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Why would you do this? Why? I mean, so this is such an infuriating question. But maybe, but yeah, see, that's the thing. So many things have come out about authors and people I admire that अभी ऐसा ना कुछ भी बोलो तो ऐसे होता है कि रेपिस्ट, पीडोफिलिया, स्टोल वर्क, bigoted. And it's like,
So, let's rephrase the question. If you had to
no,
edit
no, I will
anything,
say this. I will say
okay.
this. I'm a fan of Leonardo da Vinci. I don't know why every time I see anything about him, I just cry because
Wow.
I feel like talk about being born in the wrong time. He was left-handed, which was seen as a sign of the devil back in the day. Largely suspected to be homosexual, which was punishable by death. Was so creative कि मतलब he was not able to keep up with what
Yeah.
was going on in their head, which is evidenced by his journals. And because of all of this, he was ostracized. I'm like, just in the guise of ghostwriting his book, which he wouldn't need the ghostwriter. I mean, he's so talented, brilliant. But because we are making khali pulao, I just want to hug him. Ki, man, you have no idea how many people, how many artists, how many movements, how much wonder you are about to inspire in the future. There is this scene in Doctor Who where Vincent van Gogh is sort of pulled into a Van Gogh museum by the doctor. And Van Gogh looks around at his art, and art historian is like talking about Van Gogh, and he's like, they're talking about me, and I'm like, yeah, they are, and that is, as in ghostwriting that Khayali Pulao, I just want him to know that, like, yeah, the society was fucking shitty to you. And they did not understand what you were trying to do. People in the future do. Like, we love you and we so appreciate you. And we are still trying to figure out what your kooky nutter of a brain was trying to say when it made this note. Like, this is how brilliant and ahead of your time you were. So please, like, just let me hug you and write your
Wow.
book.
Wow, I can see the joy and excitement. So I really hope someday you get to write at least a piece on Leonardo da Vinci because that
So
shows
I've
you.
written so much on Leonardo da Vinci because him and Michelangelo, not Michelangelo, which is how we are taught Michelangelo in school. Um, Both of them, like there's so much material around them in journals and things like that because they both had journaling habits. And Michelangelo specifically used to do like rant letters. बड़े बड़े लेटर लिखता था अपने फ्रेंड्स को. And because I think his friends knew that this man is going to be a great. All of these letters are preserved. So we
Wow.
have access to all of this. So when you read, no, it's like, God damn it, right? We think that all of these experiences we have as creatives and artists are unique.
Yeah.
And all of these letters from artists long dead tell us that no experience is unique. जो तुम्हें ख्याल आया है उन्हें भी आया था और उन्होंने उसके बारे में लेटर लिखा था. हम ट्वीट लिखते हैं या पोस्ट बनाते हैं, वो लेटर लिखते थे. We are all technically engaging in the same process, just the medium is different.
Yeah.
And I think that is very cute.
I absolutely agree. And it makes it very wholesome, that entire experience of seeing somebody go through the same thoughts or the same kind of challenges. It's just beautiful.
It is, it absolutely is. And I'm going to go on a big, big tangent, and you will let me because you're nice. So, and kind, both. There is this, the cave paintings, right? The oldest
Ah,
cave painting we have, that is of a woman. Okay. It's a Neanderthal woman, and she put her hands on the wall of a wet cave and she blew red ochre on it. ठीक है.
mm,
अभी there is no logic behind doing this. No hunter-gatherer benefits, no communication benefits. The best theory we have is she was letting somebody know that she was there. And then looking at her do this, either कोई देख रहा था या बाद में किसी ने ऑब्जर्व करके किया. Thousands and thousands of people over the years, because you can carbon date these things. So there's a lot of time gap between the oldest and the newest handprints. All of these people who did not have the gift of language, because while Neanderthals did have their language, it was not as developed as the language we use today. They didn't have language, but they still had the human instinct that we have, which is
yeah,
why I was here. We've been doing that since then. I'm sure monkey लोग भी करते होंगे some form में. We just don't know what that is because we don't pay enough attention to anyone that is not human, which is like so sad
yeah.
and hypocritical also, because I am also not paying attention even though I'm complaining about it. But ultimately, we have all been, whether it is with the reels, whether it is with the books, whether it is with rants or essays or anything, even if it is like a philosopher standing in the streets philosophizing, it is people reaching out to others
Yeah.
to say, I'm here and this is what I think. तुम वो लिंक्डइन की स्टैंडर्ड लैंग्वेज में अग्री क्वेश्चन मार्क. So that's what we've all been doing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
very cute.
In simpler terms, it just could be we are all trying to document our lives. We are trying to create a proof that I was here. That's it. If you were to
That's
look at
it.
it, that's what we are doing. Our Instagram pictures are what? Are online. I was here, I ate this, I dressed like this, I went here, I saw this. That's all we are doing, right? Like that hand.
And if you look at somebody's profile, it does tell a story, right? Like you
Yeah,
can see somebody is having a breakdown from some of their posts. You can see somebody's trying to make a change. You can see that something is pissing them off. You can make all of these things out because no, try as we might, none of us is that good of an actor, right? We are all human at the end of the day. And the humanity slips through the cracks, little things. And उसी में तो मजा आता है, उसी में तो चुगली है कि figure out what is going on here. And
इसी
then
चीज को
you're
तो वो
like,
पीआर
yes.
पेजेस पकड़ते हैं ना एक्टर्स एक्ट्रेसेस के
Oh my God, I don't follow any of that. I am so grateful I am not addicted to that because otherwise I would not work. I would do that all day.
ओह गॉश कैन यू गेस किसके लिए ये स्टेटस डाला होगा ये कोड किसके लिए शेयर किया होगा
Arey, I swear that was very funny. I got a panicked email, right? That somebody unfollowed me on Instagram. I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? So the response came, can you find out why they unfollowed me? I'm like, why would you want to escalate this? They probably unfollowed you because उन्होंने account deactivate किया. People do that. They're like, no, 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 they have unfollowed me. I'm like, okay, I am not the right person for this. You need to contact some social media person because this is too much. And
I didn't know people are obsessed with this as well.
I swear this is, and I maybe me and Anisha can go live on Instagram one day and talk about this. Anisha Brahma is a friend I made via this third person who will be nameless. She went to Anisha and said, oh, Binati has 10,000. At that point, I had 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. And she makes $1 million per year. So Anisha was like, wow. So she contacted me and she told me, I'm like, भाई मेरे पास $1 million नहीं है. होते तो you think I'd be hustling on LinkedIn and Instagram. I'd be chilling if I'm making $1 million a year from writing. Who makes that much money? It's not real. But that's the thing. People obsess over the most random things and they make the most random theories, which sometimes the person who is being talked about does not know. So if
Yeah,
Anisha had not told me this is happening,
very true.
I would have still had that person as a friend because I did think that was a friend. And she was going around telling people all this, and I'm like, no.
So, how do you think publishing in India is different from the global market? Any unique challenges or perks?
I think the most unique challenge is um everybody knows everybody. Like the
Yeah.
industry is extremely insular and they don't want anyone on the outside to get in. They are very progressive in their belief systems, but they are very conservative in their behaviors. They are publishing the same people, talking about the same things. Look at all the types of books, and not that there hasn't been research done in this. There's definite gender issues and caste issues with what books are being published. So they are absolutely excluding people with the narratives they choose to highlight. You won't have that problem in the. I mean, a genocide denier won the Nobel Prize of Literature. Okay. Um, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, but even a genocide denier found a publishing deal. इंडिया में तो तुम एक डिसेंटिंग ओपिनियन देख लो दे विल blacklist you at least till uh, the person in charge goes away or you did not go attend the party you were invited to by somebody without a gift and they got pissed, then you get black. We have all of these petty things and it is definitely hurting the industry. देखो, most people are not reading Indian authors. It is not because people don't know about Indian authors. It is because when you spend 250 to 500 rupees to buy a book, and then the book is telling you the same story for the thousandth time. How many times are you going to read the same thing?
Hmm.
So I think unless the industry changes its tune, which I think some are, thankfully, indies are stepping up, which is great. Um, we are going to see a lot of our good, like Jhumpa Lahiri, for instance, she's been on the record disavowing the Indian side of publishing. That is a book that could have come from India, right? But it didn't. It didn't because the Fitzgeraldo also, I forget the name of the book. Fitzgeraldo also published a translation from India that could have been discovered and promoted in India, but it had to go to UK for it to be published and for it to be marketed. So with brain drain, industry देखो टेक्नोलॉजी में तो हो ही रहा है. All of our smart minds are leaving. Publishing में भी हो रहा है और होता रहेगा because they keep want the same type of people and the same type of stories. Their loss.
So true. So that brings us to the last question, Binati. If there is one piece of advice you would like to give every new author in India before starting their publishing journey, what would it be?
Don't think about publishing because I mean, unless you want to make your life, or let me reframe that. Um, decide whether you want to be an author, or you want to be an author to make money.
Huh.
Both of this will
Are
take
very different.
different paths, right? If you want to make money, you have to think about publishing first. See what all people are publishing, see what all is going on in the ecosystem, see who is open to accepting what type of manuscripts. Smartly start networking while you are working on this because you cannot just go and say, read my book. You have to build a relationship with this person. Easiest way to do it is uh, show up in their life. comment करो, if they are looking for some help, help कर दो, etc., etc. And then when you are ready, you can maybe ask a favor. So if you are writing to make money as an author, think about publishing way before you start anything, because not every idea will find the kind of money you are looking for. Easiest thing to do is trope literature that makes money. It at least makes you enough to buy back your advance, right? तो आपकी profit cycle kick in कर सकती है, which is great. So if you're making that choice, good for you. If you are becoming an author to be an author, right? Like you have something to say and you are trying to say it. Don't think about publishing. Think about writing the best book you possibly can. Start and टेक इट विद अ ग्रेन ऑफ सॉल्ट. आई एम एन एडिटर. ठीक है. दीदी आपको ज्ञान दे रही है अपने धंधे के रिलेटेड, तो दीदी सक्स. ओके, दीदी हैज सेड दिस एंड एडमिटेड दिस इन एडवांस. बट स्टार्ट सेविंग मनी टू हायर अ गुड एडिटर. इट्स द सेम थिंग कि the thing that keeps poor people poor is a rich person will buy very good quality cloth that will last them for 20 years. And we will keep buying poor quality cloth 20 times a year because it is cheaper and end up paying so much more over the years. So if you start saving, if you are hiring an editor, hire a good one and have them work on the book with you, if possible, as you write it, so that बाद में you are not forced to rewrite everything. And then once you are ready, think about how you want to publish it and then go for it. Trust, surrender, because a lot of publishing is about luck, strategy, but also luck. So
And
that
patience.
is my. I mean, patience though, it's a given, right? If even ISBN form filing, उसका रिप्लाई आने में कितना टाइम लगता है? You are like, आज आ जाओ, and ISBN number be like, no, 3 महीने
I
बाद आऊंगा.
I had an author recently, and it's so funny. I mean, they worked on a manuscript for 4 years. They were very proud of that. It's very good, but they wouldn't even
Hmm.
give me 4 months to edit it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you need patience. You worked hard. It's good, but you need to trust me also with the process. Give me time. Why are we rushing it? Like instant noodles banega, to it will be like that. Nobody will remember it. So they were like,
Yeah,
no,
but
I want somebody who does it like this. It should be out by this date. I am done. We had a timeline. So, so that's why I
I
emphasized on patience.
I love that you did, because that is also a bigger problem I face. I just said no to somebody who is part of like a friend group, because she wants her 300 pager over 100,000 words to be trimmed down to 60,000, and she wants it done in a month. I'm like, I cannot do justice to it, no matter how much you pay me to do it in a month. I will take your money shamelessly, but I know I will not do a good job. And I just said I will take money shamelessly, but I said no. Because that's the thing. We also as editors, yeah, हम भी घर चला रहे हैं हमारा, but we also want to be associated to good books, no? There are some people, very popular people I have ghostwritten for. You cannot pay me to admit I have worked on their books because the books are horrendous. But लोग खरीद रहे हैं. ठीक है. I don't want to be known, even दूर दूर तक, because right, you don't want someone to have that sort of reaction when they look at your book, because the book, whether you like it or not, it's gonna stick. Book and content are very different. If you notice, a lot of influencers have their personal brands dilute once their books come out. It is because how cash grabby and how superficial they are becomes very obvious because of that terrible book that they have forced some ghostwriter to write. And the ghostwriter tries, I'm telling you, we try to make them write a good book. They are like, no, हमको ये जून तक पब्लिश करना है या हर साल बुक लिखना है, which is somebody. And it's like, भाड़ में जाओ यार तुम। हम लिख देंगे, हमारा क्या है, हमारा तो फॉरेन वेकेशन स्पॉन्सर हो रहा है। बट it does affect you. Reputation is very, very important in the arts, whether we like to admit it or not. And if you want to be an author for legacy reasons, like you want somebody to, like, have that verbal hug from your work, मेहनत तो लगेगी, टाइम तो लगेगा, एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली पैसा भी लगेगा, क्योंकि अच्छा पब्लिशिंग टीम डज नॉट कम फॉर फ्री.
Absolutely. I completely agree on this. Very
So
rightly
yeah.
said. So that's it. We would like to wrap up this episode. Any closing thoughts, Binati, that you would like to share?
क्लोजिंग थॉट्स तो यही है कि यू आर डूइंग फैंटास्टिक वर्क
Thank
विथ,
you.
I think, sharing the side of the industry that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
So, one problem that the industry has, which is extreme gatekeeping, you are addressing that. So, keep up the good work,
Thank you.
and I will try to learn from you and do the same.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. I'll be
Of
adding all the social media links to Binati's, all profiles to this description box in the YouTube. Please do follow her. She makes amazing videos and in very interesting quotes. There's a lot to learn. I also learn a lot from her when she comments on books, she picks up topics, and the way she discusses and analyzes them. She's a treat to follow and, of course, to learn for writers and editors and everyone, ghostwriters as well. So thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Viniti, for joining us. It was fun. It was
Same here.
fun talking to you. I hope we can do this again.
As many times as you want. You know how easy it is to get me to come on a call.
Yes, yes,
Just
absolutely.
say
Now I
come.
definitely know. I shouldn't have thought so much.
I don't know why people assume I'm bitchy. I don't know why.
No,
But
no.
I have not you. I've been told many times that oh yeah, I thought you are unapproachable. I'm like, I'm the most golden retrievery person ever with like grumpy cat face. मैं क्या करूं? शक्ल ऐसी है.
Shakal ऐसी है. No, no. You're the most fun and the warmest person that I've
Thank
seen
you
and
so
I've
much.
ever
I fished
interacted.
for compliments successfully.
Yes. And I really look forward to having you once again and we'll discuss some other aspects of publishing once again. Thank you so much,
A
Vinati.
rant episode. Do it.
Absolute
We
rant
could go
episode.
on for 4 hours.
Yeah, yeah, complete. Part one, part two, part three, we'll keep releasing them when we want to.
There you go. Infinite content loop detected.
Absolutely. In case you want, we can call in Anisha as well.
I mean, yeah, we have been toying with a lot of like yahi wala ki make publishing understandable. People don't understand it. So yes, definitely we can rant and inform
Sure.
simultaneously.
Hopefully soon. Soon. Thank you.
Of course.